squadron of musketeers. Now, when you think of musketeers, you have certain imagery in your head. If you look at these musketeers, however, can anyone tell me what's missing? Very good, sir. Swords. Because unlike our French counterparts, we are not mere guardsmen for a noble king, nor are we gentlemen's sons who have been trained in the sword since we were this big. These are but mere farmers, and I only have 2 weeks to pluck them from their fields to train them how to use a musket. I'm not going to bother with anything else except that musket, because they're about to go into combat. We are using the Matchlock musket, the height of weapons technology in the 16th century. It's called a Matchlock because of the piece of burning match cord they have in their hand there. That is cotton or hemp rope that has been soaked in saltpeter, so when ignited, it burns very hot and very slowly. Very simple weapon to operate. There are only 21 steps in the loading and firing of this weapon. The first is they will handle their piece. They will then open their pan, clean out their pan. You always know a musketeer because of the black thumb. They'll then handle their prime and prime their piece, pouring a small amount of very fine gunpowder into that pan. They'll then close their pan. 2 very important steps, because we are dealing with a lit fuse, is cast off loose corns, blow off loose corns. This gets the extra bit of gunpowder that's masked on the top of the pan off of the gun, so the gun does not go off before we want it to. They will then cast about their piece. This gives them access to the muzzle. They'll then handle their charge. You notice 3 of my musketeers went for the wooden bottles across their chest. This is their bandolier of charges. Each one of those wooden bottles has enough gunpowder for 1 shot from the musket. The dragoon on the end, however, is using a paper cartridge. That's because she rides around on the battlefield on horseback. She doesn't fight from horseback, she's not cavalry, but she does ride about very, very quickly, dismounts, and then fights as a musketeer. So she uses the paper cartridge because if she were wearing a bandolier on horseback, she'd have black eyes from here to Sunday. So then they charge their piece. At this point, but also if they were going to load a lead ball, which they're not today, they'd take it from the pouch at their side, or more often just spit one down the barrel. You don't understand the dangers of lead poisoning yet, and it's much easier to have lead balls in your mouth than to have to fish around in that pouch of theirs while they're under fire. They'll then draw forth their scouring sticks and ram home their charge. Very importantly, they will recover their scouring stick and replace it. It's very important because, don't get me wrong, you can fire it. It makes an excellent projectile. However, it's rather awkward weapon. The awkward part is having to go across the battlefield and ask for it back. So make sure to replace it. They'll then recover their piece. They will then take forth their match and blow it well. They'll then cock and try their match, placing it in the jaws of the serpentine there, ensure that it's going to hit the proper place in the pan. It's at this point that they're ready to fire. They'll turn them in a safe direction. Musketeers by the right hand wheel about the center. And then wait for the command to present your piece. Have a care! Give fire! Now, good musketeers are expected to perform all those actions 3 times in a minute. Obviously, they can't do that while I'm standing there saying, open your pan, close your pan, and all that. As for my job, it's very simple. All I need to say is, musketeers, make ready your pigs. And then I'll have a bit of peace. They'll do what they do best. Present your piece. Give fire. Now, you notice limited by the length of his pike. Musketeers is much longer. The musketeer's job is to keep the pikeman safe so he can get stripped with the enemy, and then it's the pikeman's job to keep the musketeers safe. To do that, we do a maneuver called fire by advance. If you imagine there are 3 more musketeers standing behind each of these, the rear rank will be called to the front. They will fire their weapons in a volley like you just saw, then immediately begin to reload. Musketeers, make ready your pieces. The new rear rank will be called forward. They will do the same. So the effect you have is you'll be leapfrogging towards the enemy. All the while, the pikemen are advancing at a very slow and steady pace. To demonstrate that for you now, musketeers, by the left hand, double your ranks. Rear rank, advance to the fore. Present your piece. Give fire. Rear rank, advance to the fore. Present your piece. Give fire. Musketeers, face your body with the left hand. By the left hand, double your file. Musketeers, salute. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention. In a few seconds, the weapons will be safe. 1 musketeer, please keep match lit.
I gotta go.
Then we're going to come up and take a closer look. Take the distance demonstration. We'll clear out a little bit. We'll do some bonus firing.